Good morning, everyone. Pam here, back again to talk about another awesome product this week. Today we're talking about the Drifter Smart Speaker. The Drifter is actually a really cool product. I'm actually really excited to demo it for you guys. So let's get into it. It's a smart speaker, as I mentioned. And what exactly does that mean? Well, it means a lot of things. We've talked about a couple speakers on our live segments before, and most of them, they come with the same kind of built-in features that most speakers do these days. Obviously, they have a pretty good sound quality, Bluetooth, they're portable, you charge them, and they hold a charge for X amount of hours, etc., etc. So the Drifter speaker is just like many of those, but the Drifter is different because it's meant to be used by and really designed for people who are in the water a lot. So people who enjoy a lot of water sports, if you're into surfing, anything that involves boating, wakeboarding, wake surfing, all that kind of stuff. Anything in the ocean, obviously again, more boating, more surfing, windsurfing, kite surfing, all those sorts of water sports. And it's really meant for that type of user in mind because it is fully waterproof. And it has, so let's take a look at it. I'll take it out of the box and keep telling you guys a little bit more about what makes it so special. So first off, it's actually quite small. It's, when it comes, once I describe to you what exactly it does, it's pretty compact. It's not super heavy, it's pretty light. And the cool thing about this is it's IPX7 waterproof. So what exactly does that mean? IPX7 is actually the rating that the Apple Watch has in terms of its level of waterproofness, which sounds like a made-up word, but it is the level at which this qualifies in terms of how waterproof this technology is. And obviously, submerging something in the water that's an electronic is always a little scary, but this one is totally waterproof. Like I said, it's meant to be used for, its main user is someone who's in the water, who's around water, water sports, all that sorts of stuff. So it is meant to be completely dunked. And the cool thing about this Drifter that's different, that sets it apart from other speakers, is this. I'm sure you kind of noticed this while I've been fiddling around with it. It comes with a screen. And a major issue with Bluetooth speakers nowadays is even though the Bluetooth speaker might be waterproof, and you might be able to throw the speaker in the water or have it get splashed while you're out, the thing that's not waterproof is your phone. And if you are surfing, let's say, you can't have a speaker out with you because you need to have the phone in some sort of proximity in order for the Bluetooth to work. So it makes it a little difficult to have a truly Bluetooth speaker when you don't have a truly, to have a truly waterproof speaker if you don't have a truly waterproof phone. So, obviously phones are catching up these days. The Samsung Galaxy S7 is water resistant, as is the iPhone 7. But they're not totally waterproof. So the Drifter solves that conundrum by having this small little Android tablet on it. So it's just a little baby size, phone size Android device. You can see I just clicked the screen on. And what makes this cool is you can go here and look at all of the apps that you have, and it's just like any other Android device. On here right now we have a couple different apps, some of the regular native ones, as well as Apple Music, Beats, Spotify. And what makes this cool is it has an internal 16GB hard drive. So if you are a Apple Music user, or if you're a Spotify user, as I'm sure many of you know, you can cache playlists onto your device, as long as you obviously have a subscription. And most people are using streaming services nowadays. So, and obviously you can download onto here the Google Play Store. So if you have a lot of music that you have on your Google account, you can definitely listen to it on this device. And that's really what sets it apart, is it solves that whole issue. The whole issue of not being able to carry your phone with you to play music on your waterproof speaker is totally solved by the Drifter, because since it has its own hard drive as well as its own interface with its own Android OS, you can play music on here, you can cache music. Obviously, if you're out, let's say you're out boating, you're probably not going to have a signal, you're not going to have Wi-Fi. So what you do is, obviously you think ahead, plan a little bit ahead of time, and you can download your playlists onto the tablet, and you'll have them to listen to while you're out. So it's truly waterproof. You can completely submerge this. It floats, so it is buoyant. So if you accidentally check it off the side of the boat, it will float. It won't start sinking to the bottom, which again is a huge concern, because I've definitely accidentally lost a GoPro that way, checking it off the side of the boat. Those do not float. But the Drifter does. The Drifter is buoyant, so it's not going to sink to the bottom of the ocean, which is amazing. So I'll just show you guys a little bit of how the interface works, just so that you kind of have an idea. Obviously, this is the home screen. Then if you click here, you have all your apps. We can go into my Spotify account, which I have loaded. Yeah, and see, it looks exactly like it would look on, a tablet or a phone. We can go over here and browse, my music, and we can browse, all sorts of playlists and look at what's going on. Oops, I went into the search. But anyways, you can search. So obviously, if you're connected to Wi-Fi, you can go on here and find your favorite music and listen to whatever you want. So obviously the music element is huge. It's what makes it so unique and what sets it apart. And the sound quality is really, really good. I would say we can attempt to play something right now and kind of see how it works. But one other feature that it has that I think is also really cool, that makes it, that is just kind of an added bonus. Obviously the speaker is what you buy the Drifter for, but here, let's see if we can't play something. Well, while I try to play something, the other thing that sets it apart is this on the back side. So this is obviously all speakers, so the sound is going to come out of here. But it also has a built-in camera, which is right here. This is a totally waterproof camera, so obviously you can take it in the water and it's totally fine. The whole thing is waterproof, as I mentioned. But the fun thing is that while you're listening to music and having a fun time, you can take pictures. Because again, you're not going to have your phone with you, or hopefully, with the Drifter, that your phone is going to be left at home, totally safe, totally dry, away from water. But you'll still be able to take photos, you'll be able to take videos, and like I said, it has a 16 gigabyte internal hard drive, which is just kind of for comparison, it's what the old iPhones, if you have an old iPhone 6 with the lowest capacity, it's 16 gigs. So that's kind of to put into perspective. You can download a ton of apps on here. You can probably take a lot of video, take a lot of photos, and you'll be totally fine to be able to have enough room for all of that on here. And of course, you can delete things as you see fit and as you start to run out of room and all that sorts of stuff. But 16 gigs is a lot for something that's just going to be housing only music, apps, and maybe a couple photos. So let's take a look at the camera actually, because I think that's pretty cool. So as you can see, it's a pretty decent camera. I mean, here you're looking at me, obviously, but you're going to be able to take video as well as photos. And so it kind of, obviously it's not as high definition as, let's say, a GoPro is, but it is still a nice, fun addition that I think is really nice, given that, of course, you're not going to have your phone with you. So now for the super fun part. So I thought, since this is one of the only devices that we have that's fully and totally 100% waterproof, I'll show you guys just how waterproof it is. I have here a giant bowl of water and a towel. Just in case, and we're gonna put it in there, and I'm gonna show you guys. I'll move the camera a little bit so you can see a little bit better. But the drifter is totally submergible, so you can see the screen is still turned on here, and you know, still clicking, still doing everything. But you can totally put it underwater, like the entire thing. Here, I'm gonna grab this. The entire thing is underwater, and you can kind of like see how buoyant it is. It does float around, which is nice, so it won't sink to the bottom of the ocean, like I mentioned, if you accidentally drop it in. But, and the screen still totally works. Isn't that wild? You can still get to all of your things. Obviously, clicking is a little bit difficult. It's a little bit harder when you are totally submerged underwater, but let me take it out of the bowl, dry it off a little bit, and then show you guys how it still works. So, and don't worry, I tested this a couple of times before I did this on live just to make sure, and it worked every time. Because obviously you're always a little wary to dunk something that's a speaker, that's, you know, an electronic into the water, but with the drifter you're totally safe. It's just, like I said, just like a GoPro, you can put it in the water and it's totally safe. It'll come out and still work. So here, you can still tap to the go screen, get to your apps. Let's see here. Listen to music, do whatever you want. So that's awesome. I just wanted to show you guys that because I know that that's something that's a really cool feature and what makes it so unique and sets it apart. Anyway, that's it for today. The link is in the description of the video, and if you guys have any questions, make sure you comment and we'll be on there all day answering questions. So yeah, check it out, go to the link, check out the deal page, see if you like it. If you're somebody who spends a lot of time in the water, the drifter is definitely for you. Oh, actually one last thing I didn't mention. It has a mount, so you can screw it in. It has the grooves down here so that you can screw in any kind of mount. So if you have a suction mount or you have a tripod, let's say, you can mount this to just about anything. So that's also a fun add-on. But yeah. All right, well, that's it for this week. We'll catch you guys again next Tuesday, where me and Michael will be talking about another relevant tech news item. This week we talked about the MacBook Pro. If you haven't checked it out, go to our videos and take a look. Thanks, guys, and have a great rest of your Thursday.